March 31st, 1999 is a day that our worlds changed. Because it was on this date, no longer would you have to sit in front of your TV watching 6 commercials just to enjoy your favorite TV show. Yes, if you own the silver box, the days of being afflicted with what some have referred to as commercial interruptus, those days are over. Hard to believe that under this smiling face is a fighter and a protector and someone who will keep TV advertisers from having their way with us, making us sit through 15 commercials every single hour. Finally, because of him, we can now zap. That's what he says, zap commercials as if they were the devil that needed to be tortured and killed. And soon, others began to follow. In other media like radio. Like these 2 guys, XM and Sirius, who with the help of this guy's Howard Stern, joined forces against the dreaded commercial radio. And now, what began as one guy with an invention, now he's been joined by others who would do their part to protect us from advertising. Pandora, Netflix, Vudu, YouTube, and the list keeps growing and growing. There are still a number of pagans among us. Only 50% of us have DVRs. But these people, they still have to sit in front of the TV and watch these dreaded commercials over and over and over again. You know, they can get up and go to the bathroom, but there's only so many times they can do that, especially if they're under 60 years old. Nevertheless, there can be no denying that on March 31st, 1999, a new trend was born. And one that made us, we who are in the marketing communications business, it made us work even harder to gain consumers' attention. Attention, you know, it's like a currency. And the consumer only has so much of it. But that value, the value of that currency has increased, and it's going to continue to increase as consumers are given more choices about what to do with it, how to spend it. And ever since March 31st, 1999, the value of that currency has been going up as consumers are becoming a lot more selective about the commercials they want to attend. In turn, the thought leaders of our business are saying, not to worry, it's going to be okay, we have an antidote. The way to do this is to transform commercial interruptus into commercial engageus. That's right, engaging consumers of media. By doing that, we could do more to invite them into our messages as opposed to forcing them to put up with those pesky commercials. And one of the reasons you're here today is to learn more about one of the tools of commercial engageus. You know, countless studies have been conducted on the efficacy of stories as a communication tool and show how they enhance learning and how they help us remember things and how they engage us. But all we need to do is really turn to ourselves. We don't need any studies. Just look at our own behavior and the way we spend our attention currency on stories. Think about movies. You know, I was just noticing in my household, and when it comes to movies, we are willing to spend all kinds of attention currency to see a movie. On a typical Saturday morning, I might turn to my wife and say, honey, would you like to see a movie tonight? And she'd say, well, yes, that would be wonderful. What would you like to see? And I'd say, no, you pick. I picked the last time. No, she said, you pick. I want you to pick it this time. And I'd say, no, come on, you pick. It's really your turn. No, you pick. And we'd go back and forth for a good 10 minutes until finally she'd say, no, you pick. And I'd say, okay, let's go see Hangover 3. And she'd say, well, actually I had something like a romantic comedy in mind. So we'd spend the next 15 minutes to a half an hour going through the internet looking for a movie that we could both like. And 6 o'clock would come around, And at that time, I'd have to go and take a shower and change out of these socially unacceptable clothes that I typically wear on a Saturday morning. We'd get in the car, we'd drive 15 minutes to the theater, spend another 15 minutes looking for a parking spot, walk to the theater, walk up the stairs, go to pay for the admission, $25, now $22 since we're seniors. Go over to the concession stand, buy popcorn and a soda for another $15.60. Walk into the theater, ask two very comfortable people who are sitting in their seats if they would kindly move down so that they could make room for two more people. They give us dirty looks. We sit there, watch 15 minutes of previews and 4 warnings to turn off our cell phone. Why? Because we love movies. And we're willing to spend as much attention on movies as we possibly can. So clearly there must be something to this storytelling thing that we as advertisers or marketers can learn from. We love stories. And it makes perfect sense to transform our messages into stories for that reason alone. As a commercial technique, storytelling works, but it'll never be the cure-all for zapping. I'm not sure anything will stop that. The fact is we as human beings just don't like to be sold stuff. We like to buy, but we don't like to be sold. But why, you might ask? If commercials are so bad and we don't like to be sold, why is this guy wearing a Harley-Davidson logo as a tattoo on his chest? Or why is this guy wearing the Nike t-shirt? Or why is this guy looking like a total fool with Mickey Mouse ears? Is there something that Harley, Nike, and Disney know that we don't know? What I've discovered is the answer to that question is yes. These brands are what I call story brands. They've gone well beyond storytelling as a communications technique. Oh, they may still use storytelling to get their message across, but they do something else. They see everything they do as an important story. They don't just tell stories with their advertising, they do stories. And they do their stories through every customer touch point. So how do we do stories like them? How do we become brands like they are? Now clearly not everybody's going to have logos on their chest. It'd be kind of creepy to see somebody walking around with a Charmin tissue logo on their chest. But even for brands that people don't know that we're buying, the non-badge brands as they say, is it possible for them to do a story? To that I say yes again. And I'm going to show you how. Are you ready for that?